Hi guys, today I'm going to make a delicious pasta dish called Penne Arrabbiata. And the name of this dish literally translates to the angry pasta or the fast and furious pasta. It's like a fiery pasta, spicy pasta that uses either dry chili, flaked dry chilies or fresh chilies. And today I'm going to use a combination of both. And well, I love Italian food, and this pasta in particular I love because it's spicy and also it has that lovely tomato sauce base that, well, is so yummy. So these are the ingredients that I'm going to use. I am going to chop the chilies, the cloves of garlic, as well as some of the basil leaves. And as for the brand of the tomato, canned tomatoes and olive oil and pasta and so on, you can get any brand that you like. So guys, I need to chop these garlic cloves. Okay, so I'm going to use, as you know, I love gadgets. So I'm going to use my little food processor here and put all these garlic cloves in there and process them. So there you go guys, it's nice and chopped. Now I'm going to use 2 big chilies. I don't think I'm going to use the whole two. I'm going to use 1.5. If you want it really fiery, you can use one of these bird's eye chili, but of course that's too spicy. And if you want the spice to be reduced a little bit, take off the seeds of the chili. So like this, I'm going to I'm going to use my hands, but be careful. Some of you who can't take it, you need to probably use a knife to take it off because it can burn. But I'm sort of used to this, so I can I can handle the heat. So I'm going to take off this, and I'm going to chop it up really fine. It's a bit of a mess here. So what I'm going to do is do this and get a better knife and mince the whole thing off. So make some little cuts like this, like that. So it just makes it easier. This one is the one I didn't want. And it just makes the whole job a little easier. Cut it up in thin strips like this, put it all together, and or you can even use the food processor. It's entirely up to you, but I'm going to mince it really fine, and so you don't bite into the chilies, you just have the heat or taste the heat of the chilies. Okay, these are peeled whole tomatoes. Can you see that they're whole? And I would like to sort of mash them up, and I could use a food processor, which would be easy, but the reason I'm not going to is because when you use the food processor, the seeds inside, like these seeds, would also get processed, and that would, the seeds like that. Can you see the seeds? Okay, now the seeds would also get processed, and that would make for a little bit, would create a little bitterness in the sauce. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sort of mash it up a little bit like this, just a little bit, and while it's cooking I'll do a little bit more. So I'm just going to smash it with a potato masher like this, mash it up, and it doesn't have to be perfectly pureed. So the type of pasta that I'm going to use is this one. I believe this is the type of pasta that is usually used for this dish, and this pasta is called penne. Can you see that? And penne pasta, I've seen that they come in 2 different types. Either the tubes are just smooth tubes, or they have little ridges. I don't know whether you can see the ridges in these. Can you see that? Well, either they're smooth or they have these little ridges on them, and I like the ones with the ridges more because the lovely sauce clings on to the pasta, and it just makes it more tasty. First thing I'm going to do is turn on the heat and pour a good amount of olive oil. This is about 4 tablespoons maybe. Okay, you need a little bit more olive oil. So the oil has been heating up a little bit, and I'm going to add the garlic. Okay, in goes the garlic, and then I don't want the garlic to burn, so just let it cook a little bit on low heat, guys, and then put in the chili. Let it cook a little bit, put in the chilies, 1.5 chilies, large chilies that I've chopped up, and I'm just going to let it cook a little bit. Make sure that it's not, the garlic doesn't burn. And you can see that some little lumps of garlic, some of them haven't been processed too well. So I'm going to take it out and chop it up and then put it in again. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of flaked chili flakes, dry chili flakes that I've processed myself. So, and I'm going to turn up the heat now and put in the tomato sauce. It's going to be a little lumpy. I'm going to sort of, oh gosh, this mess. And I'm going to mash it while it's in there. Let it cook first and then start. I'd love to use a bit more chili flakes, but I'm so worried that it'll be too spicy. So I'm just going to leave it like so. Now I'm going to, while it's cooking, I'm going to use this masher. This is a lot better than the one I used earlier, guys, because that one didn't mash anything properly. So I'm going to mash it up until I have smaller chunks inside. And as the sauce cooks, so let it just keep cooking for about, on low heat. Wait, let me just sort of get the lumps out and then I'll get back to you guys. So it's cooking, and as it's cooking, I'm going to add the tomato sauce, about that much, about half of that can. Let's see whether it's too much. Let's just give that a bit of a stir and then we will know. So let's give that a bit of a stir. Sometimes you might add too much, sometimes too little. So I think I could add more. I'm going to add all of it. So the whole can of 400 grams of tomato sauce has gone in. This is also called tomato puree, the one, but it's a bit watery, so I call it tomato sauce. All of that's gone in. Let it simmer on slow heat for about 10 minutes. Simmers, guys, add some salt. I'm just going to add about half a teaspoon and then see how it goes, because the canned tomatoes will also have some salt in it. And then I'm going to put in my parsley flakes, which is, I'm going to add a good 1 tablespoon or so. I don't want to add basil in here because basil can be a little bitter, so I'm not going to add basil in there. Just parsley flakes, some pepper to give it a bit more of a kick, and I'll just simmer. Let it cook on its own. Let's see how that goes now. So guys, you can see that it's beginning to bubble. It's kind of done. Also remember that tomato sauce, a basic tomato sauce for pasta is not supposed to be watery. So it has to be thick, almost like a chutney. So this is kind of thick. I wish I'd mashed up all the tomato lumps because I still see some lumps, but well, it doesn't matter really. But well, anyway, this is how it tastes. And as for some of you who are like me, if you like a little bit of sugar in there, you can add a bit of sugar. I think traditional pasta sauce does not have the sugar in there, not the recipes that I've seen, but I like it a little bit sweet, so sometimes I add a tiny bit of brown sugar in it, and that is entirely up to you guys. That the sauce is done, and now I'm going to use this big pot. I don't have a proper pasta, it's like a stock pot or something. I don't have one of those. I have this one that was given to me by my mom when I got married. It's quite huge, and I'm going to boil up. I'm going to fill it up with water, and I'm going to boil it, and I'm going to put lots of salt into it. I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of salt into the boiling water, and I'm not going to add olive oil into the water because that's a real waste of olive oil. So instead of that, I'm just going to flavor the water, and right after I drained, once the pasta is cooked and I'm draining the pasta, then I will quickly add some oil onto that hot drained pasta. And as for the salt, I have heard this phrase that says that the pasta water, the water that you're boiling your pasta in, ought to be as salty as the Mediterranean Sea. Isn't that nice? Well, that's how it's supposed to be. Apparently the Mediterranean Sea is really salty, and it's supposed to be as salty as the Mediterranean Sea. So I'm not going to use that much of salt, just about a little less than half a cup. I meant a little less than 1/4 of a cup of salt. So I've closed the pot. so that it heats up much quicker. And because I want this water to reach a rolling boil, so it has to be like boiling and bubbling all on the top, and that's the right time to put the pasta in. I'm going to add the salt in. It's already starting to boil. Maybe I should have added the salt earlier. Matter. I'm going to let it start to boil now. Once it's boiling, then I will add the pasta. So as you can see, I added quite a lot of salt inside. So the pasta is flavored. It doesn't taste bland. Still waiting for it to come to a boil. That's a rolling boil. Now to put the pasta in. Oop. Make sure you stir it. Just keep cook the pasta as per the instructions of the packet, and well, usually penne cooks a little longer, so it's going to take about 10 to 12 minutes. Yeah, so let it just cook, and we wait now for it to cook. Pasta, once it's cooked, has to have this texture called al dente, which is it has to be a little chewy to the bite and also cooked at the same time. So not mushy, not too soft and mushy, but a little bit it has to have a little bit of a bite to it. Al dente. All you have to do is basically wait, have a slotted spoon such as this, and just stir so that it doesn't none of the pasta sticks at the bottom. So now guys, you can see that I think it's just about right. I'm going to take one out, and you see it has to be like this. Ooh, so hot. Well, basically it has a bit of bite to it. It's not completely cooked soft, but it has a little bit of, it can take its shape very well, and it has a little bit of shape to it. So now what I'm going to do is take it out. This is how I'm going to take it out. Remember that as you take it out, it will still be cooking. So this is a slotted pan, and I have underneath another one, and I'm going to put it in here like this, like so. So there you go. I'm not going to drain it out because I don't want to lose all that starchy water. I'd like to use some of it for my sauce, so the sauce sticks better to the pasta. So once all this is out, I'm going to take about half a cup of this and add it to the sauce. So I'm taking this half cup, just adding a little bit into the sauce. Not too much, don't make the sauce watery. Okay, that's enough, less than half a cup. So guys, as for this pasta, I've drained it and put it into this pot, but it's a little too small. This pan is a little too small, so I'm going to pour it in there. And now is when I will add the olive oil. Okay, that's enough. And I'm going to use 2 spoons to mix it up nicely, like so. And since this is a penne all'arrabbiata, I am going to put the sauce onto this and give it a good mix as well. Okay, now let me get a nice spoon. I've added 2 more spoons of that sauce because it didn't look colorful enough for me, or it didn't look red enough for me. So that's how much I've added. And this is it. This is my dish, and I'm just going to show you once I put some basil leaves on the top of it. I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. You don't have to use Parmesan cheese if you don't want to. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to take a little of this to the function that I'm going to today. All right, that's it. And this is how my penne all'arrabbiata looks like. So thank you everyone for joining me today in making my penne all'arrabbiata. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here's Shakila Shanmugam signing off. Bye everybody.